and welcome to BCC Virtual Racing and the Beaconsfield Crit Club in its usual slot of Thursday evening. Tonight's race, quite a special one. It's the annual South Bucks District Club. District. What am I thinking? South Bucks Diamond Cup. Apologies for that. Brain got a bit fuzzled. Represented tonight by a strong contingent from Beaconsfield. Good turn up from Amersham and Marlow. Wickham didn't enter a team this year, though there are a couple of Wickham riders riding in this. The route tonight, the Watopia Hilly route, 18.9 kilometres, I think it is, 2 laps, with about 100 metres of climbing per lap, with the longest climb a short sort of 1 kilometre at about 5%. This is a team competition with leaders designated for each of the teams, which should be apparent on screen with the designation of leader. We have got representation in all 4 categories, for A, B, C and D. And here we go, start of the race. Good luck everyone. And they are off. And as the riders come together out of the different start pens, we'll go right up the front until this settles. The first climb, the KOM comes in at 1 kilometre. If I can get to the front, I will do. 25, just saw Tall Andy. ARCC, Amersham on screen with the Cat A leader. And their names don't translate very well onto the screen. I think that might be Phil, if I'm not mistaken. Nick, possibly. Right next to him, Matt Beaver from BCC. Now we are right at the front. Someone, I thought someone had gone right off the front straight away there. But no, as expected, riders rotating around. Huge bunch at the moment. Lots of team tactics going on here, or at least there should be. Trying to get your lead riders up the front, and this is one of the largest pelotons I've seen at the start of a Zwift race. There must be 100 riders in there, virtually the entire field. It will settle down slowly, but let's have a look and see if we can identify anyone. That's the rider up the front. Can't click on anyone. Will Blackham from Beaconsfield, and here is that climb up to 11%. Not very long, but it should sort out some of the competitors. Here in category A, following Nick from Amersham Road Club. $128 on the heartbeat. That doesn't seem particularly high for the start of a race. I haven't looked up his statistics. He may be a very large rider, which would explain the lower heart rate. Or maybe he's just able to take advantage of the peloton. Up next to him, though, we have RS, no further name than that, from ARCC in Cat B. And most of these riders will be intermixed at this stage. And from Amersham again in category C, who have we got? That could well be Mark. And right, just a couple of seconds dropping off the back, you can see the riders beginning to stretch out now. Another Amersham rider. Jignesh, quite possibly. Haven't seen anyone from Marlow. In fact, there's someone from Marlow right next to him. So it's the first Marlow rider. Nice kit they've got on the screen. Almost looks like the club kit. Well, closer than most on Zwift. And that rider is, who do we have? Simon, representing Marlow riders in category C. And then some of the Beaconsfield riders. Campbell, normally quite a strong rider, but being left already just shows the pace of this. There's another Marlow rider in with a bunch of, at least one other Beaconsfield rider, I was going to say, and someone but behind him. So I'm just trying to see who that is. That is Paul, perhaps? No, it can't be. Yes, it is Paul. Right next to him, Jacques Warret and Neil Campbell. Following on just behind in Cat C from Beaconsfield, the team leader here, Mark Shannon, along with Oliver White right there. And already these riders beginning to break up. There is Mark Jury, BCC, and as we move back through the field, another leader, team leader from Cat C, Dave Sampson, I think this is. And there's a rider I've never seen on Zwift before, Deb Brooks, so congratulations to her. Keith Ray, Bolton from Amersham. Needs to be careful there. Dropped off the back of that group already at 2.2 kilometres and 4 minutes in. Now what I haven't seen are any of the Beaconsfield front runners that I would expect to see towards the front of a race. So let's have a look up there and see who I can find. That could well be the rider I was looking for, Angus Stoneham, Cat 1 rider, junior. And already that is his hairstyle and beard. I recognise that. Already he's off the front and going by the looks of it with another rider. I don't know who that is, right behind him, now in front of him. But Angus is a canny rider. He knows what he's doing. Quite often attacks early on, but you can see these two. Next Cat B, the next riders in Cat B, the leader and a few other BCCs, some in there from Amersham as well. They are already, let's have a look. I can work it out. There's Tall Andy from High Wycombe in there. That is Tall Andy. I've seen him ride many a time. But this pack of B, mostly B riders, are 2-3 seconds away. And that is the chasing peloton. So these two riders up front, led by Angus Stoneham from BCC, up out of the saddle already, 11 watts per kilo. He's not going to let these riders overtake him, I don't think. He may move back into the middle of the bunch, but he's certainly going to keep the pressure on. 6.8 watts, 7.6 watts per kilo. Most of the BCC riders following him, I know, cannot sustain that kind of pace. And as we move back through the field, looking out for riders I haven't yet. It's Will Blackham from Beaconsfield, Dave Sampson. No, that's not Dave Sampson. That is, who is that? That's Darren Charles, I beg your pardon, Darren. It doesn't help when everyone's just got one letter. Amersham, their Cat A rider, Paul, not Paul, Phil, beg your pardon, Phil. Should be riding along with Sam and Nick, if we can see them, as the lead for Amersham. So the rest of the course, I was saying, obviously we've gone up that hill at 1 kilometre in. The rest of it is undulating. It's nothing particularly steep. The odd bump shouldn't cause a great problem. Aero bikes out in favour for this particular race. No real advantage for anything else. A lightweight bike on the hill. It's so short. Now at 5.8 kilometres in, 7 minutes 53 seconds, coming up for 8 minutes. So they will be well under 30 minutes if this pace keeps up. And trying to move back just to capture everyone else. And in category B now, from Amersham. Who do we have? Neil is the rider on screen now. And another rider from Amersham in Cat A this time. That is Nick, that I was looking for a little bit earlier. And he, in fact, is 5 seconds behind his namesake, at least by letter. I know they're not, obviously haven't got the same name. And Amersham in Cat C now. That is Mark, I think. Yes, it is. And again, from Amersham, Jignesh, Jacques Ware, Mark Shannon from BCC. Is this Ed Morris? I think it might be. Let's just check. Cat B. It is indeed Ed Morris. And there is Mark Jury moving back through the field. Dave Morton, I think this is, Beaconsfield. Keith Ray, Beaconsfield. Just looking for some more Marlow riders. Not a strong field from them. Bolton in category C. Andy Bolton from Amersham. 5.8 kilometres. I don't think many riders will be contesting the sprint. In Cat D, we haven't looked at Cat D at the moment. But that from Amersham, another representation there. David. No, it's not David. Sorry, I keep changing the names. That is Paul. And some Beaconsfield riders. Albert May. Al Watts behind him. Brian Taft. I'm not sure what he's doing all the way back there. Should be a little bit further up in my mind, but also along with him, Gavin Wilkinson, Peter Jones, current national champion in his age category, crit champion. Now we have a Cat D rider from Amersham, the leader for them, Vinny. That is almost right at the very back of the field, so I am missing quite a few Amersham riders. Poulter from BCC. And as I've got a habit of doing, missing the finish, not going to appear just yet, but we'll move up towards the front of the field. And that front riders, I would suspect, are now on the second lap. Let's have a look and see. Right, so the 8.8, not quite yet. 9.1 kilometres per lap. The small lead-in, so probably about 9.4 these riders will get to. In fact, it's coming up right now by the looks of it. That is the finish line that they will see on the next lap. And this will be one huge sprint if this group stays together. Andy from Wickham lurking away at the back of that peloton. Probably a good place to be. The pace now just on Angus again. 178 on the heart rate. 158 watts. Riding, I would say, comfortably at the moment. Moving back through this field. Darren from BCC right next to Angus and Cat A. And there is within this group the representation from Amersham for their category A rider, Nick. 9 kilometres now coming up to the start finish line. So, as you can see, A class mixed with B, C, D's will be further back, but most of these riders are waiting for something. This is a team competition, don't forget, so many of these riders may well be protecting their team leads, giving them a chance to have a bit of a rest before the fireworks set off later on in the race or on this last lap. McLaughlin from BCC. Neil Campbell now in a large group. Last time we saw him, I think he was by himself. I just saw a Marlow rider there. I can click on him. I will, if he reappears on my screen. But good support from Amersham, so thank you very much for that. Shame Wickham haven't turned out in force, but maybe they were worried about being beaten again. There we are from category C, I should say. Marlow rider represented by Simon. And right next to him, at least I think right next to him, yes indeed, another another Marlow rider, Cat B, that is Paul. And quite a large bunch here. We'll move further back in the field now. Mark Jury. I have not seen Katie Jury, who was down to be one of the leads for Cat A. Maybe was unable to start. And this is a good ride from this Cat D rider. Someone on a mountain bike though. Bit worrying. This is Paul, along with Deb Brooks. And another Cat D rider from Amersham. Looks like Andy on my... No, it's not. Oh, beg your pardon. I'm getting my own mind. That's Andres from Beaconsfield. Beg your pardon. Al Watts should be further up in my mind. Has been improving steadily. We have Gavin Wilkinson. Ooh, I hope he's not all by himself there. Dave Morton, Peter Jones, Julian Poulter, Vinny from Amersham. Looks to have been a little isolated. 10 seconds nearest rider ahead, 3 seconds behind. That'll be a tough race for him. And these riders now at 9.1 kilometre, coming up to the start-finish line. About 120 riders in this. Brian Tuff found a group. Al Watts in there as well. As is Paul from Amersham. 10.1k for these riders, 16 minutes in. Moving up now towards the front of the field. Is that still Mark Jury? Keith Ray. Is that Simon from Marlow? It is indeed. And Mark from Amersham. Beginning to string out a little. That won't help. And as they move up to this KOM, I was going to say this is Leader from Marlow, but no, that wouldn't work at all. That is more Paul from Marlow. But still quite intermixed. There is the Amersham Cat A rider along with the Cat B, and timing's just updated on my screen. But Cat C in front and behind. And now let's get up to the front, see where we are. Barry, organiser of the event this evening. And he nearly always organises it so that he wins in some shape or form. So watch out for those rule changes. There's Katie. I just hadn't looked at her as K. Leader BCC. I was looking for K. Jury, but there she is. My mouse comes back to life. Katie in 12th place at the moment, but I can't tell what the gap is to the front. There we go. Looks to be about 10 seconds. Something of that nature. That is Angus on front now in that yellow and black kit. And as you can see, looking back down the course, no one in sight really. Might just get a glimpse of the pack. There they are. And they are about 250 metres behind. So these two riders, Angus from Beaconsfield and a rider called Ruben, not in the South Bucks Diamond Cup, but nonetheless pushing Angus forward. Next rider in the South Bucks Cup looks to be in this group. Actually, it's going to rotate around, but we have Blackham, Tall Andy from Wickham, Barry from Beaconsfield, Matt from Beaconsfield, Darren from Beaconsfield. Do we have any other riders in this bunch? Yes. No, we don't. We have lost, I think, all of the riders from Amersham and Marlow. That is the leading Amersham rider at the moment. That is Phil at 14.2 kilometres, whereas the leaders are now at 14.9. As Katie has the polka dot jersey. And Angus holding a steady 7 watts per kilo. Just gone down as I said that. 15.3k. Must be careful not to lose touch with what's going on at the front. But also, of course, keeping an eye on those riders at the back. $15.5k, 20 minutes. Short, sharp and furious. Working hard, these two. And that peloton is still about 200 metres behind. I'll come back to them. What is the gap to the next rider? It is Blackham leading the front of this chasing peloton. Gap's about 9 seconds at the moment. The bunch, theoretically at least, if they choose to work together, should be able to catch those two riders out front, but with only 2 point something kilometres to go, they're now 10 seconds back. It's possible to make up 10 seconds per kilometre, but you have to be fairly shifting. In fact, there are two riders just there. Let's have a look and see. The gap is closing. It's now about 7 seconds. If we look backwards, there they are, just coming around the corner. I don't think these two will be particularly worried at the moment. 16.5k, so Blackham, Katie, Darren, Matt Beaver, Barry, Phil from Amersham, still by himself. He'll be working hard. And also from Amersham, we have that wonderfully named RS, right next to McLaughlin from Beaconsfield. Mark Shannon. And I was trying to click on the Marlow rider again in category B. And that is Paul. These riders, 23 minutes, 15.5 kilometres in. Move back up to the front now. Let's see what's happening. So looks as if the two lead riders have an 8-second gap. Seem to be working together. The lead keeps rotating. Just as I say that, Angus moves into the lead. That peloton behind, the gap is staying at just under 200 meters, but still 9 seconds at 17.8 kilometers. The finish will come up on screen soon. I can't see the countdown, but we'll be able to see the start finish line on the moving map on the top right hand corner of your screen. So Angus immediately up to 14 watts per kilo. There's his power. Look at this for performance sprinting. Someone behind's up at 18 watts per kilo. That seems somewhat unbelievable, but anyway, Angus takes a comfortable win. Well done to him. And the next rider is going to be Tall Andy by the looks of it, 14 watts per kilo. Then we're going to have Will Blackham coming in third. Katie looks to be fourth. In fact, she has crossed the finish line already. And I have to very quickly go back to the start. This is how it works, unfortunately. And move my way quickly through the field. See if we can catch who is next. And this is the difficult part with large groups of riders, but let's see what I can do. 17.1, 17.1, 18. So here we go. These riders are now coming up from for the finish. Darren and Matt Beaver and Barry from Beaconsfield. 45 seconds further back, it's going to be Phil Cat A from Amersham. I think out of the three clubs, he is going to... He doesn't have anyone else to worry about. That's Barry just crossing a line. Back on Phil now. It's 17.8 kilometers. So his points are there. And the finish line will come into view just about now as they round this right-hand bend. I think that was the 200-meter sign I just saw out of the corner of my eye. Well, they're certainly up and out of the saddle and responding as if it's 200 meters away, but Phil doesn't need to do anything other than cross the line. Following him, next up on screen, will be, an Amersham, there's a whole bunch of riders here. So RS from Amersham, followed by McLaughlin. Looks to be RS at the moment, followed by McLaughlin. RS from Amersham, then McLaughlin. And now we've got Campbell from Beaconsfield, followed by, is it Phil from Marlow? Paul from Marlow, apologies Paul. That's Nick actually, I didn't see him before. Amersham riding. Marlow, Simon from Marlow is it, coming up strongly here. Looks to be Jignesh out the front at the moment. Jignesh followed by Simon. And again, I have to go right back to the start. Most of the riders will probably have finished by now, but we should be able to catch a few. These are the front runners. Next up, Ed Morris from Amersham. Doesn't seem to have anyone challenging him at 17.8 kilometres, 27 minutes in, so he will come in under the 30 minutes as well. Not that that's a target, but nonetheless, it's just a nice round number. Slight downhill past the 200 metre sign on the right shortly, just as the view changes. And what is Ed going to do? Well, riders behind are responding. Ed is going to cross the line there in under 29 minutes. Next up, further down the road at 17.6, Mark Jury. Dave Sampson. I'm used to seeing these guys race quite regularly. I'll put my money on Samson at the moment. And 17 seconds. Let's have a look and see what happens. So it is Jury ahead at the moment. Jury. Oh, he responds first up out of the saddle. In fact, Samson has sort of backed off. So it is Jury that takes the line next, followed by Samson. And then we have next rider. Here we have a Cat D. Right, in fact, sorry, there's Al Watts just up ahead. 17.3 kilometres. Keith Ray just crossing the finish line. Then we have Al Watts being shadowed. Who's he being shadowed by? Is it Bolton from Amersham, Albert May, Brian Taff. Another Cat D rider up here as well. That's Paul from Amersham. So a whole collection of riders. These Cat D riders are moving quite nicely. And there's the other Cat D rider. Just try to click on him. There we are. So two Amersham. I'm lying. So it's Andries from Beaconsfield and Paul from Amersham. I'll let the other riders just battle their way to the finish now. Brian Taff at 10 watts per kilo. Al Watts not responding. Bolton from Amersham, he is responding. Is he going to catch Taff? I'm not so sure in this view. Now it's Taff Bolton. I have to move quickly back. Missed it. Right, back up through the field. One more time. .9 kilometres this rider. So just looking back to see who is still riding. And first up in the cup this evening is Peter Jones. Along with him, or just behind him, Gavin Wilkinson fancies his chances. Dave Morton, Vinny from Amersham. He's not going to be in contention with those leading riders in this next bunch, but let's see what happens here. 17.2 kilometres. That looks like Wilkinson just gone in the front. It has. Wilkinson testing these two out. Might have been a little bit too much too early. We'll see what happens, but he's certainly showing the other riders that he intends to push this. So it is Wilkinson, Jones and Morton, or Dave Morton, D. leader. I think that's who it is. 3 Beaconsfield riders. And who would I rate here? Well, technically it should be Wilkinson. Never underestimate Peter Jones. Very, very capable rider, but right now I'm going for Wilkinson. So we'll watch from this position. But Jones is in front. 300 metres to go. If you're going to sprint, gentlemen, now's the time to do it. Does anyone respond? Wilkinson ups the power a little bit and then comes straight back down again. Jones is sitting right on his wheel, and I know he's capable of a kick right at the end. And it is Wilkinson, Jones, and then Dave Morton, the Cat D leader for BCC. Not many riders left now. Vinny from, is it Vinny? I think it is. It's Vinny from Amersham. I think he will finish by himself by the looks of it. The closest rider ahead, 16 seconds. Closest behind, 13 seconds. He's now at 33 minutes, 45 seconds, 17.6 kilometres in. And it could be, I'm not sure if he's the first Cat D rider across the line in the competition, may well be. Or was Andries out there earlier? I would expect he would be, but maybe I did mention him earlier, but I haven't seen him. So we've only got 2 riders left. I don't think there is going to be a change in position, so it looks finishing the race. Vinny from Amersham, followed 1 minute 58 seconds further back by Poulter from BCC. So I think that covers the South Bucks Diamond Cup until next year. I hope you all have a happy Christmas. Thank you for watching and see you next time.